Hey there, welcome back to the Member Experience Advantage. This is Joy Duling, and I'm really glad that you chose to join me here today. So, what I've been thinking a lot about lately is the concept of simplicity. I did a workshop last week, a growth workshop, and in the workshop, I presented kind of a three-step growth model. And as I was kind of putting the finishing touches on the workshop, I wondered to myself if the people who were going to attend the workshop might find it too simplistic. So I think that being able to see the simplicity through the complexity has always been a gift. But the truth is that we as human beings and we as organizations, we tend to place more value on things that are complicated. I had an interesting conversation with my daughter this morning. She's just starting into grad school, and I think she inherited my natural appreciation for simplicity. She was describing an assignment that she had to do, and she had an article that was really only about 4 pages long, and her assignment was to um, uh, uh, describe, to summarize there. That's the right word, to summarize the article. But the summary had to be 2 to 3 pages long. And she's like, why on earth would you have a summary that's almost as long as the original article? She really, she was really struggling with the idea that you would have to write something longer than what she felt was necessary. Well, complexity tends to be valued in grad school. The simple answer is not always what they're looking for. And the same goes for organizations. Think of common examples like the strategic plan that has so much heft to it that it thumps when you drop it on the table. A strategy that, when you're laying out the flow of it, it requires a master's degree in engineering to even understand it. The consultant who costs a small fortune and talks in concepts and jargon that really is not that meaningful, and you have a hard time kind of tying to your day-to-day work. That's never been my style. So my style has always been to find the simple straight line amidst all the complexity. I would rather give someone three simple steps that they know they can achieve and that they will achieve, rather than giving them something that is complicated that they might actually give up before they even gain any sort of traction. So the problem is that a lot of people think that simple means easy, and nothing could be further from the truth. Simple is actually pretty deceptive. Simple makes you think, oh, we've totally got this, no problem. We've got it. We've got it ourselves. And the truth is that there are lots of things that can come up that make simple not necessarily easy. So if you think about other things that might be simple on the surface, you realize that there are all of these factors that could come into play. So think about, the doctor telling you that you need to change your diet to address a health issue. Maybe you have to cut out grains, or you have to cut out red meat, or you have to give up your ice cream snack before bed. I mean, those changes all sound simple, and they are, but the execution of those things is not always easy. If you wanted to have a more connected relationship with your spouse or with your kids, on the surface, that sounds really simple. I'm going to have a more connected relationship with them. But then when it comes time to have to put your phone down when things are really crazy at work, or you have to carve out time in your schedule for a date night every week, the execution of the simple idea might not be easy. And then, let's take an example that is more professional in nature. Let's say that you want to get your organization in front of industry publications so you can get in front of more people. And so you're going to write articles for these industry publications. Well, on the surface, writing articles is a simple idea, but the execution of that is not easy. Actually coming up with, content and consistently putting it out, never easy. So things are always bound to get in the way when you say that there's something that you want to do, no matter how simple the formula might be to do it. So let's say, you want to grow your organization. Well, there's a pretty simple way to make that happen. And I walked through it in the growth workshop. But we also talk about all of the other things that can get in the way. Things like you can lose focus, you can run into competing priorities, you could have a problem come up that you don't know how to solve because it's just outside of your experience base. You could have a disagreement with your board or with your team about the strategy that you want to employ. You may not have all of the necessary resources that you think are needed to implement your ideas. So all of those things can make what seemed simple a lot less easy. Now, I am not saying all of this to discourage you before you even start to try to implement something. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm just trying to say that when you are approaching an idea or a strategy that seems simple, you need to think about and be realistic about the things that could potentially get in the way. And you need to find ways to structure your approach to address those potential things that are going to come up. So member metrics, just as an example, is one of the ways that I help clients do that. So as we think about the things that might get in the way, we help people involved in member metrics stay focused by sprinkling in private sessions along the way so that they have somebody else to run ideas past and get validation from and help them structure their approach. We don't let them get stuck on tricky spots because we have training and resources. We know where those tricky spots are going to be, and we can help them get through those things. We help them address competing priorities, and we help them, maintain consistent progress by having the success metrics that we track along the way. So we know as soon as something starts to slip, and we can make adjustments to get things back on track. And then, we also address the fact that there may be disagreements or there may be low resources by having kind of the group support and the group ideas and brainstorming that can help when those sorts of things pop up. So this is one way that we kind of put supports into place to help people implement growth ideas that on the surface seem pretty simple, but may not be easy in the execution. Now, regardless of how you are pursuing growth and whether you're working directly with my team and I or not, I just wanted to bring this concept to you today so that you could be thinking about if you're having trouble making progress toward the goals. And, the end of January is a great time to look at that because so many organizations, start out their annual planning, and January is really your first opportunity to look at progress and say, are we on track even after our first month? So if you are looking at that and you're going, okay, this is not going to be as easy as I thought, we need to do some thinking around what is getting in the way, what could get in the way, and how are you going to address those things? So that's my message for you this week. I hope you find some pearls of wisdom in there that you can think about this next week as you go on through your projects. And I look forward to seeing you back here, same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone, and have a great weekend.